All right. Good afternoon and welcome all to the Brewers of South Suburbia special event with Trappe. Boss is dedicated to the art of crafting and quaffing fine beers through the sharing of ideas and experiences, the advocacy of brewing as a hobby, and the responsible consumption of beverages containing alcohol. I hope everyone's still on board with that. Boss has been running virtual tastings with Zoom throughout 2020, sampling beers from professional brewer friends of Boss throughout the Chicagoland area. Is not a Chicagoland brewery. And it was so unique, Boss wanted to include our fellow home brewers from the area. So to celebrate our 30th anniversary as a club, in addition to all of our Boss members and friends here today, we welcome brewers from the Urban Knaves of Grain, Chicago Homebrew Alchemists of Suds, Club Ward, and anyone else that was able to join us here today. Boss would like to thank several people for helping make today a reality. Adam Schulte of Weiner Beer, Forrest Hayden of Artisanal Imports, Craig Alperowitz of Swinkle's Family Beer, Steve Camp of Evil Horse Brewing, Jim Vondrachek, Jeff Landers, Paul Lange, Mark Westmeyer, Steve and Carrie Sikorsky, and Mike Morell, all for helping with distribution of the beer, the Boss Board of Directors for all of their help and support, and of course, Trappe. Proceeds from today's event will be donated to the Northern Illinois Food Bank, whose mission is that no one goes hungry in these 7,000 square miles that they service. Last year, the Northern Illinois Food Bank served over 10 million meals to folks in need in that area, and Boss could not be more thrilled to help such a worthy cause. And now for some general housekeeping items before we begin. I see some of you already know how to work the chat feature, which is great. We're going to go over that real quick. If you have a question during the presentation, please submit it through the chat bar below. We will be working them into the discussion as they fit and apologize in advance if we are unable to get to your questions. I hope that all makes sense to people. Take a look below. You should see the chat little bubble on the bottom. Feel free to click on that, and then you should be able to type into the group. All right. Feel free to test it out. Next up, this is a global event, and we are at the mercy of the internet. So please remain muted. And for the next portion of this, I'm going to ask that you guys turn your camera feed off to preserve the bandwidth so that we can all see and hear what's being said from Trappe today. I strongly recommend speaker view. If you look in the upper right-hand corner of your view portion, speaker view will pin the video of the person that's talking at that given point in the presentation. So, and of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't encourage everyone to continue to support not only Trappe, but tag things in social media and stuff like that if you're available. So Facebook, Instagram, all of that good stuff. If you're into it, please, by all means, post that stuff, get this stuff trending. We'd love to see it out there. With all of that out of the way, we're going to watch a brief video together introducing Trappe. So if you could please cut off your video feeds, which again will preserve the bandwidth, okay? And then we'll be able to turn them on in just a moment.
La Trappe is Trappist ale. That means we adhere to the rules specified by the International Trappist Association. Those rules stipulate that the beer must meet 3 basic conditions to be able to be called authentic Trappist ale. In this video, we will set out how these 3 requirements play a part in our monastery and brewery. Ora et labora was the motto of Benedict's rule. Pray and work. Benedict's rule requires of monks to lead a life of tranquility and contemplation, a life of prayer. And Benedict also prescribes that monks must support their own community. In our daily life, we alternate between worship and work. We start our day with prayer, divine reading and silence at 4:30 in the morning. After that, we go to work. At the bakery, the confectionery, the jam factory, the brewery, the abbey gift shop and the guest house. We convene for prayer every 3 to 4 hours up to the compline, which ends our day at 7:30 in the evening. Our routine is one of 8 hours of prayer, 8 hours of work and 8 hours of rest, year after year, century after century. Our current abbot, Don Bernardus, once said, "The brewery shows that heaven and earth cannot do without each other." That is indeed correct. The brewery cannot survive without the abbey, and the abbey cannot survive without the brewery. That is the first condition Trappist ale has to meet to be considered genuine. Our beer is brewed within the walls of the abbey, which is not only where we work but also where we pray. Brother Isidorus wrote the recipe for Trappist ale back in 1884, and we still stick to this recipe today. That means we only use natural ingredients. The water of our beer comes from our own 150-meter deep well. Trappist ale owes its special flavor to the second fermentation. What we do is add sugar and yeast when we bottle the beer. Bottles are then placed in a warm room, which will generate additional alcohol and additional flavor. The quintessential La Trappe flavor. Brewing beer still requires craftsmanship. We, as monks, always keep a close eye on the brewing process. That is the second condition Trappist ale has to meet, to be genuine Trappist ale. A third prerequisite that beer has to meet to merit the name Trappist ale is that part of the proceeds must be donated to charity. That is yet another quality that makes our beer genuine Trappist ale. We would even go so far as to say that you can taste that in the beer. Trappist ale is beer with a heart. La Trappe is not just beer. La Trappe is the beer of work and prayer, the beer of the silence.
All right. If anybody had trouble with that video, we'll be forwarding the link out a little bit later. That link has that video online with a little bit better quality available in the event it wasn't quite up to snuff for you guys here. And without further ado, I want to introduce our reps from La Trappe. Allow me to introduce everyone to Roy Pollux and Fons Pubben from La Trappe. Guys, it is a pleasure to have you on today. How are you doing?
Thank you, Ed. Thank you for having us. It's nice to do such a tasting and talk about our Trappist beer from the Netherlands. Actually, it's evening over here, so we are drinking for a few hours already.
It's a good time for us to have a small beer with you guys from the US. I think it's very nice that you are doing this event with La Trappe. So thank you for that.
Yes.
No problem.
First of all, we want to talk a little bit more about Trappists in general. But first, we start with the first beer, La Trappe Wit. We can pour it in the glass, and then while we're talking, we can already see some reactions about the beer, and we see what people how people like that beer or not like.
Sure thing.
If you see, you have to be starting with the La Trappe Wit. La Trappe Wit, yes.
Yeah.
La Trappe Wit is a traditional Belgian wit beer but with a German touch,
With a German twist on
with
it.
a German twist. The difference is that in this beer there aren't any
Extras.
extras. There are no herbs or
Yeah, there are no orange peel. There's no cloves. So it's like the German would like to say. It's a Reinheitsgebot brewed, and especially you can see in the bottom of your bottle there is a residue. So you have to wiggle the bottle a little bit and just pour it together with your beer because it makes the beer more hazy, more cloudiness. So Ed, you have a very clear glass of beer, and if you can see, you can see our beer.
And now I know.
It's already
Knowing is half the battle.
It's like a Weizen beer.
Mhm. Gotcha.
Okay, first of all, more of you see, if you have to pour the bottle a little bit and throw the yeast in the beer, and then it will be hazy. It's for the extra taste of the beer, and yeast is also good for your skin. And
Yep, all those awesome B12 vitamins for sure.
yes,
For sure.
it's good. It's good for COVID.
Yes, you can only hope. We can only hope. So I'm not a certified beer judge, so you'll have to bear with me on my terminology as we get into talking about all of this stuff. But I do get a really strong odor of, I want to say like almost banana.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah,
Like a fruit, and then nice foam head retention, nice lacing on the glass. This is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is typical of Trappist style beers. Yes, no?
yeah, it's especially Belgium style beers. But the Belgium style beers have a lot of coriander and some orange peel in their white beers and their wet beers. And we don't use it at all. Our sourness, or our sweet sourness in our beer, is from our hops we are using. And we are using Saphir hop
And Mandarin hop.
and Mandarina hop. So Mandarin hop.
Bavaria hops. Okay.
Both from the Hallertau in Bayern, Bavaria in Germany.
Okay.
So the hops are coming, all our hops coming from the same farmer, and we buy our hops directly at the farmer.
Okay. So you guys are dealing with those direct.
Yeah, we are dealing directly with the hop farmer in Bavaria.
So
Okay.
ABV of this beer, 5.5. So it's for our beers, it's quite low. Because we are ending with much higher, I think twice as high, ABV 11. The plateau of this beer, I'm not sure if it's English plateau, but it's the sugar strength in the beer. It's 12.2 plateau, so that means it's not that sweet, it's not that much assurance, and the color is 9 EBC. So it's not that, you can see it straight away. It's not.
It's very light.
It's very light, exactly.
So you can't. It is a typical Belgian wit, but it's actually between a Weizen, a German Weizen, and a Belgian wit beer. If you have to compare, it's not that full as a Weizen beer, but it's. You can't compare with the Belgian wit while there are no extras in it, and it's brewed like the German Reinheitsgebot beers.
Okay.
But we're going back to the Trappist. You saw the Trappist movie, and first of all, the 3 rules are very important for Trappist brewers. Worldwide, there are 12 Trappist monasteries. They brew beer. Most of them are in Belgium. I think most of you as beer lovers know those Trappist beers. You know, it's Westmalle, Rochefort, Orval, Chimay, Achel, and I forget one.
West Vleteren.
West Vleteren.
What top of you said, yeah.
Westvleteren. And then we have one in Austria, Engelsel, one in Italy,
Tre Fontane,
one in England, United Kingdom.
Time Meadow, Abbey of St. Bernards, and of course one in the US. There is one in the US, a Trappist brewer.
Omegang, right?
Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer, yeah.
Spencer.
Yeah, in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So that are the 12 Trappist brewers.
In the Netherlands, we have 2, Zundert and La Trappe. And all those 12 follow the 3 rules of the Trappist brewery. And if you can see in the back label of your bottle, in the right upper corner, you can see a small logo, and it says, yeah, exactly that one. And it says authentic Trappist product. So exactly that one.
Yep.
And if you are following those 3 rules, there is a committee is checking all those rules. If you are following those rules, then you get the authentic Trappist logo. And it's not only about beers, the Trappist logo. It's also
With cheese
or with candles or with honey. Everything that's made within the walls of the abbey under supervision by the monks. And when we still have money, it goes to charity. All those 3 rules are getting, then you are allowed to put in this Trappist logo. So only the 12 Trappist beers in the world have those. For example, you have a Trappist brewer. He calls himself a Trappist brewer. It's called Monducat. They brew their beer at Westmalle, but it's not under supervision of their own monks. So then you can call it a Trappist beer, but it's not an authentic Trappist beer. So that's the biggest difference between it.
Yeah, they don't have the logo, and you see also the abbey beers like Leffe or Grimbergen, and those abbey beers are brewed under license by the bigger breweries like AB InBev, for example, is brewing Leffe, and they pay the monastery a license fee for the use of the name of the beer.
What also very important is what I really want to know is I'm hoping a lot of people already tried it, and I'm very curious what our tasters are thinking of this beer. Maybe we can have a small on the chat things. If they like it, yes or no, because it's still a thing about your taste. If you like it, yes or no. Very good, great. What are the malts in the Witte? We are using pale malts and tarn malts. So it's 55% of tarn malts, and the rest is pale malts.
Okay.
I'm hoping there was a correct answer for your called Spencer, yes? Correct.
Yeah, we see the questions now. So yes, the American is Trappist brewery is Spencer, not Omegang. Omegang, I think it's a brewery from Duvel Moordgat, I believe. I'm not sure, but
there was a question in the feed about you said Saphir hops and you said Mandarina Bavaria hops. Are those like whole leaf or are those pelletized? You said you're dealing with them with the vendors. How are you doing that?
We are using pellets, hot pellets.
Okay.
So pelletized. Yeah.
But normal breweries in Europe are buying their hops at exhibitions, brewers exhibitions, and then they buy mixed hops. So oogsten. Oogsten. What is an oogst?
Oh, when the harvest gets.
When the harvest, but they use harvest from 3 years and they mix it and they have a stable hop mix.
Stable hop.
We don't do that. We use every year the fresh hops from that year, the fresh harvest. So it could be so that there is a small difference from hop in the taste from year to year for the La Trappe beers.
And 4 years ago, we only used the Saphir hop, but then the price of the Saphir hop went way up, and so we have to find something that's quite similar, not similar, but quite similar as Saphir hop, what was more affordable for us, because when the hop price is going up, then we also have to make sure that the beers is going to be expensive. So our brewmasters did a small trial brewing with the mandarino, and after that we blended the mandarino hop together with Saphir hop, because Saphir hop still has those citrus-like taste.
Yeah, those citrus flavors. It's real nice. There was a question. I thought it said, and I can actually answer this one, so bear with me. I saw that somebody was asking if this was a relatively newer beer for La Trappe and how long they've been brewing it. And from what I had seen online, you guys didn't start brewing this white beer until like 2003. I mean, this is one of the newer beers out of the La Trappe arsenal.
Yeah. You did your homework. You did your homework very good.
I mean, I'm getting called out on the Spencer Omegon thing here, so I want to redeem myself as much as I can.
It's already forgotten.
It's a little secret. Well, we did the question came from a Dutch supermarket chain. Is it possible to brew a wit beer at La Trappe? Really? And the difference, if you see all the other Trappist beers, that is only a standard assortment, like blonde, double, triple, and only a few beers.
Quadruple, pretty limited.
And if you see the assortment of La Trappe, we have a range of 8 beers, and that's quite high compared to the other Trappist breweries.
Yeah, and the Dutch market is suitable for all those 8 beers. So, for example, we have a seasonal beer that we call our Bock beer. It's typical fall. We drink this beer in the fall, and for summertime we have the white beer. The white beer is also available through all the whole year, but especially in our domestic market, the white beer is especially going into summertime because it's quite refreshing, not too high ABV. I'm not drinking a quadruple when it's in the Netherlands we say degrees, but it's when it's 35 degrees outside, and when I drink a beer of an ABV of 10%, I just can drink one. So I prefer a lower ABV. And for example, we also have the Pur. That's a 100% biological beer. The ABV is 4.5, and we have 2 yeasts in our brewery. So we are using 2 separate yeasts. But only for the Pure and for the Wit we use 1 yeast, and then the rest we have blonde, double, etc. and quadruple we use the other yeast. And we're gonna, if you smell this beer, the smell is gonna be different when we're smelling, for example, the double, what we're gonna taste in a couple of within a half an hour. So it's good also to smell the beer, then you can see what normally the smell is. From the yeast, the most of it. So and I saw small things through the app. And he's saying, he or she, I think he, saying I smell hints of clove and citrus and banana.
Yeah,
but it's all in the all in the hops we are using. So we don't use cloves or orange peel. It's all in the hops and the yeast
built in.
Yeah,
so no additives in the white beer, but all of that flavors coming from the malt and the hops and the extra the 2 types.
We only use the basic ingredients for beer. There's one exception for the bottle beers. All our bottle beers have a second fermentation. Mm-hmm. And we can talk later the schedule. You can let us see the schedule of the brewing process. Later on. Okay, then we talk about the second fermentation. I saw a few questions. Alex asked us, does La Trappe brew a single? Yes, a single is our blonde beer. Our blonde is a single beer. Yes, did he say supermarket chain from Jerry? Yeah, Sligro is the chain who asked us to brew a wit beer in Holland, and it was such a success that Sligro is
one of the big wholesalers.
One of the bigger wholesalers in Holland who delivers the horeca.
So the bars, the restaurants, the all of those. Yeah, we are just scrolling through the. Do you guys made a stout? Noah's asking if we made a stout. Now, unfortunately, we don't make a stout because I'm a real stout. I really love my.
Uh-oh.
Is it going without you?
I hope so.
Guess we shouldn't ask about stouts.
Oh, they lost it. That's what I was trying to figure out.
I mean, all those other people are frozen though too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mark, can you hear me? Okay, because you're unmuted.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. We lost Roy and then I'll have to let him back in just a minute. Guys, bear with me. We lost our speakers. Like I said, internet at its finest. We'll get right back to you here.
There they are.
Yeah, we're back.
Sorry, guys, something went wrong.
It's all right. Like I said, it's an international event and we're at the mercy of the internet. So
Yeah, and it's,
hopefully it doesn't keep happening, but we'll work through it.
well, I have my iPad with me with normal 4G on it, so if
Nice.
the internet's going to slow, I'm going to try to launch the meeting on through our iPad. So we have double checked and we are prepared not to go out again.
I don't know.
However it works, man. I'm all good. I'm all good about it.
Shall we talk
So-
a little bit about the history of the
Yeah.
brewery?
You need me to pull up some photos here?
Yeah.
All right. Let me get that going. Abbey photos.
Dat is veel makkelijker.
Make sure I have access here, and then let's share my screen. All right. I hope everyone can see that. Please respond into the chat if you're having issue. So, Roy and Fonz,
What you now see is what you now see is the old buildings where the monks are working. You can't see the monastery. It's on the left side of the working areas of the monks. That is the.
is that where you need
Yeah.
me to be? Gotcha.
That's the Abbey. What you're now seeing is the Abbey. And on the right of the picture, you can see the working space. And we worked, yeah, I didn't work at that time over there, but we had around 250 monks in our monastery at that moment. And now we have, fortunately, 23. But I saw we have a lot of participants in this view, and a lot of them are guys. And yeah, we are still looking for new, fresh monks. So guys, don't hesitate to drop an email to La Trappe, and maybe we can invite you to our monastery, and making the monastery a little bit bigger with new, fresh monks. But that was actually one of the questions that I saw pop up in the feed was, what do the monks usually drink? And I think that might make the call, because if you're able to drink more than... I think I have to let you down on this one. They are drinking 1 glass of beer a day. And it's what I heard and what I saw, just have to be quiet, because they are very perverse on themselves, because we asked them also to give a little word to you guys for this tasting. But yeah, it's quite difficult for them, and we are not even allowed to see them at the moment, especially in this time during COVID-19. They are very afraid that they're getting ill, because they are on the certain age that they are in the risk, of to get the flu, of to get the COVID.
The COVID.
So that's, but they started with 250 monks, and they didn't speak at all. So it was 100% silence. That's why we, after a couple of years, the brewery is getting bigger and bigger, and it was not possible not to talk anymore. So now they are talking, and they have cell phones, and it's getting a little bit more sophisticated.
What you now see is the
Benedictus.
The Benedictus. It's the patroonheilig in Holland, we call it. It's a
saint of
the Trappists.
Of the Trappists.
And if you can see, it's there is a text that says, then they are monks when they are living from the work from their hands. So they have to work and provide themselves with the food they are
with their own harvest, with their own
own
beers,
harvest, own beers, own cheese, own bread. All the things they made they're making by themselves. And that is Benedictus. It's above the
malt tower.
The malt tower.
Okay.
And I think everybody knows ora et labora, so pray and work.
And if you ever have ever visited La Trappe, it's right in front of our restroom, our restaurant. And a tasting room.
Terrible place to put it.
A tap room.
Tap room.
But there is a restroom in our tap room, so that's good to know.
For sure.
No, this and we have our own well in La Trappe, around 150 meters. We have our own water, our own spring. The spring. So we're using our own water, and what they built, our monks built 2 years ago. They start building a greenhouse with the tropical plants. So, for example, when you're using a lot of brewers in this meeting, when you are brewing, for example, 1 liter, you need around 5 to 6 liters of water, and the rest disposes of cleaning the kettles, cleaning the brewery. But it goes back into the greenhouse, and then we have botanical plants who are clarifying the water again to go back in the brewery, not for using for brewing, but again for cleaning. So we are trying to be in 2023, 2025 to be circular. So there will be no waste at all in our brewery. Also at the moment, solar panels we have, it's around 35% of the complete brewery is on solar at the moment. And they built a new solar field for the brewery. So we're hoping again around 2023, 2025 to be 100% circular. CO2 neutral. CO2.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Carbon neutral.
It's crazy to think about that. Even the monks in this day and age are actually faced with having that ecologically minded footprint and being able to conserve water. And I never would have thought in a million years about solar power for a monastery of all things.
No,
it's not something you think about.
You may guess what the monks are, what kind of car they are driving.
They're driving a white Tesla.
It's a Tesla.
But it's not. They didn't bottom themselves. There is
pricey. I was just gonna say.
No. There is a Tesla factory they are making Teslas in the Netherlands near of a brewery. And what's a better advertiser to put a monk in a Tesla? It's
a local product.
I can't argue with that. I have no argument with that at all. Monks sell a lot of stuff. I mean, look at how many people showed today, so I'm just saying it works out.
I saw a question passing by from where our monastery is. Our monastery is in the south of the Netherlands near the border, Belgian border. I'm not sure, but you can look at Tilburg on Google. It's yeah, for the Netherlands, quite a big city, but I think for you guys in the US, it's a village. We are in the near of Tilburg in the south, and all the Trappists are based around the border of a country, so near the border of a country. So if they have to go, for example, when there is a war or something, they can go straight away to wherever they want. So it's normally especially the Belgian Trappists are really on the side of the Belgian borders.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm cycling through
Angle.
pictures here. I don't know if there's any more commentary on them.
No, this is you see that is the malt tower on the left of the malt tower. You see is the brew house, and
Right here.
yeah, that's the old brewery, and then directly left from the old brewery is the new brew house.
And it's completely automatical.
Yes.
And we are not using. We used copper kettles to work on, but now we are using steel kettles because it's
steel.
It's easier to handle with kettles. This is, you can see here this is one of our brewmasters, and with a couple of beers they are won already a lot of prizes. For example, the European Beer Star Award. I'm not sure if you guys in the US know what the European Beer Star is, but there are a lot of blind tasting and a lot of beer sommeliers and beer, and other brewers who are testing the beer.
I see a lot of nice questions. Where can I get a Tesla with the authentic Trappist product seal?
Well, Rich, you can download the seal, but you have to buy the Tesla for yourself.
I was going to say, I think we have a couple of very tech-oriented people here as well, and I can see some Photoshop photos coming out of this real quick. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Just send them through.
Yeah, and Jerry is thirsty.
By all means.
Jerry wants to open the next
Tesla, right? There we go. I like it.
We are the question is, are the two of you Trappist monks? No, we aren't. We are working in for the export department of La Trappe. We are no monks, but we're working strong together with the monks. And we are responsible for 2/3 of the world. We are exporting to 48 countries. And one colleague of us is living in Belgium, he isn't over here, and we are living in the same city, so it was easy to do it together. And it's
for me, it's a 1 minute walk to my home. So
nice.
Let's have the double, I say.
So if you had to, you could crawl, and that's nice. I like that. That's for sure.
Well, I can slither home now because it's snowing over here, so I have to be careful.
Even better.
But what you see here now is how the acing is working. So it's very important, but I think a lot of brewers already know what it is. Here it's in this session of the it's not the brewing, but in the malting session, you're gonna make sure what the flavor and the color of the beer will be. For example, if you gonna age the beer longer, so you put warm or hot air on the what is it, Gerst? Malt, on the malt, then you're gonna get a darker color. So when the darker the color is, the beer is gonna be darker. Especially, for example, our double, you're gonna see it's real dark beer. And it's also slightly going to caramelize the malt. So it's going to be a little bit sweeter. But I'm going outside to get the double, and I will be right back.
I was going to say, I think it's time to switch the glass and swap over. So if everyone...
The next beer is the La Trappe double, I think. Ed?
Yep, the La Trappe double would be next. And just to make sure that we're... Yeah, the pouring instruction this time, is it the same? Do I shake it again or swirl it again?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
all our beers have a second fermentation, and that means that we at the filling of the beer we add a little bit sugar and yeast. Then it goes in a warm room for 3 weeks, and there is a second fermentation, and that yeast goes down to the bottom, and then we want that yeast in the beer. So pour the beer for 2/3, then turn the bottle a little bit, and then put the rest of the beer in the glass.
So here we go. We're gonna try this again.
I'm waiting for the beer. I don't know where Fons is.
Fons might be trying to sneak one whole bottle on his own before he comes back. I don't know.
He's smoking a cigarette, I think.
Well, they go well together, I hear.
Yeah, if you see, I see a lot of questions about some beer styles we don't brew, like sour beers and the stouts and the porters. We don't brew sours, and it's unstable.
Zullen we toch nog even de iPad pakken?
No, okay. Okay, no. But we're working in Holland together with some Belgian breweries, which make sour beers. Rodenbach. So if you want to try a sour beer, drink Rodenbach. And if you want to try a stout from Holland, try the Molen. It's a very nice brewery.
Indeed. Indeed. So is there a reason why you guys don't make stouts, just in general? I mean, just doesn't fit into what you're looking to do, or?
Why we don't brew stouts? The monks are not interested in brewing that kind of beer. We only brew the traditional Belgian beers.
And our Isidore, for example. But the biggest issue is why we are not trying to do new beers is that our breweries in full capacity already. So we are brewing at the moment 107,000 hectoliters, and we are.
Can you convert that into empirical for us? We're not metric out there.
Liters. Oh, well, I have to calculate in gallons. Gallons you need?
If you can. I was going to ask about conversions on the way here.
Well, I will check. One moment.
The gallon is 4.6 liter.
Don't give me line. I got nothing.
Okay, well, I'm not converting to-
You said 106,000 hectoliters?
Yeah.
That's not even a thing on my list. Hold on.
Welcome to America, right there. Can't even find it on the list. A hectoliter, of course. Welcome to America. All right.
Okay, we're drinking now. Let's wrap.
Continue to pour. We'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I have it right here. It's 28,266.41 gallons.
Okay, that's a lot.
When
That's
I'm
more than
correct.
a year, I'll tell you that.
Maybe less or more a zero added, but it's around that now. But we are at full capacity, so that's why it's also for us not really suitable to take another beer. And for example, an IPA is not a typical Trappist style, but Spencer is making an IPA, the US Trappist. But in the US, IPAs, imperial stouts, double IPAs, imperial IPAs are much bigger than we have in the Netherlands, and we are looking mostly in our domestic market for what is suitable for the domestic market and not especially for export market.
Sure.
So sorry, guys. Sorry. But maybe we're gonna do a nice collaboration with a good brewery. You never know. We
Come up with some ideas.
just send some ideas if you have collaboration ideas.
We'll just put those in the chat notes below, and we'll move on.
Yeah.
I like that.
You see that the beer is darker, so we use a darker malt for the color of the beer. And what does a darker malt you see the beers are also a little bit sweeter. And what you are smelling.
Yeah, and we're using Munich malts, we're using pale malts, and we are using caramel malts. So you can already smell, and especially on this beer.
Oh yeah.
And I'm hoping I'm correct, Ed, but this is a good test for in this moment. If you can smell and taste, then it's still good with you.
Yes. Yes.
No,
I
you
can still smell
you
and
don't have
taste.
Corona.
So I'm getting that same fruit character, but it's darker, almost more like a raisin or a fig type character to it.
Yeah.
And especially with this beer, and I'm hoping I can tell now, people. If you put your beers in the fridge, after this we're going to taste the quadruple, the quad. So please already take out the quad of your fridge, because the best way of drinking our beers, but not the white and the pure. Good, nice to see that.
Nice and
yeah, it was a good advertising already.
Thank you.
But the best drinking temperature of this beer is around 8 till 12, 14 degrees. It's always on the bottle. We putting on the bottle our
Serving temperature.
Serving temperature. I have to see where it is. It's in you can see it on the back label. Yeah, you have the quad on the back of the oak aged. But you can see on the back label here, I'm not sure if I can show it, but in the double, you can see in the right corner, you can see 8 to 12 degrees.
There's a simple rule. We always say take the ABV, and that's also the drinking temperature.
Yeah, all +1. ABV +1. Drinking temperature. But yeah, lots of people don't like to drink that beer too warm. But it's the same with, and I hope I'm not going to curse on this one, but it's the same as wine. If you drink a white wine way too cold, it's like a little bit sourness and too fresh, and you drink it like you pour it like water. But if you drink a white wine more on temperature, it's got lots more body. You're gonna get lots more flavors, and that's especially with our beers the same. But only our pure and our white beer, we like to serve them cold, like 5 degrees. Yeah.
There's a question about molding. We don't mold our own. We don't have our own moldery. We have a strong cooperation with Swinkels family brewers in Holland, and they have their own molderies.
So they have it's the biggest. They have the biggest malt towers of the Netherlands, and I think it's almost globally one of the biggest.
One of the biggest players in the world, Holland Malt, it's called.
For example, Heineken, and now we are really cursing, is buying the malts from Swinkels family brewers. So that's why a little bit of a good taste in the beer of Heineken, Carlsberg, for example, is from Swinkels family brewers. So there is always a little bit Swinkels family brewers in all the other beers. Just making a little bit advertising of Swinkels family brewers.
And we appreciate it.
You're welcome, David. And
thank you, Craig, if you're out there.
But for the rest, we have the good cooperation together with the Swinkels family brewers, but all of the rest is brewed within the walls of the Abbey. So we are complete on our own.
Right.
So what do you think, guys, of this double? Because it's one of the more real typical Belgian style beers. You have blonde. The name blonde is invented of Leffe. I'm not sure if you already knew that, guys, but it's a marketing name, blonde. Leffe started with the name blonde. I didn't know that at all, but I just looked it up. And double and triple are, I have to learn also. So triple and double are real traditional Belgian beer styles beers. We're gonna taste the quad, but the quad is 100% named of La Trappe. We're gonna get back afterwards. But the double it's a Belgian beer style. And in the Netherlands, especially on the coast of the Netherlands, there are a lot of tourists coming, especially Belgium and German tourists coming. And they are asking, can you put a little bit of syrup in it. You know, the grenadine syrup, strawberry syrup to make it more sweeter and sweeter in it. So I don't put it in it. And you're eating the right sausage in the right, so it's good. But the best thing is just to drink it on around 8 till 12 degrees. If it's too cold, the beer, we have the nice goblet. You can put your hands on it and just warm the beer to your own temperature, what you really like.
It's what a good Catholic does.
Indeed.
And we call it the prior goblet.
Yeah.
So it's named after our prior, and he's the director of the brewery. And you saw our prior in the movie of the 4-minute movie. So it was Brother Isaac, and he is the director of our brewery. And I can see Dick in my screen. He just has a little slide of hints of our
face,
prior. Yeah.
And the prior is of the abbot of the chief of the brewery. It's our head monk. Abbot.
Father Abbot. Yeah.
Father Abbot. Don Benedictus Bernardus.
Don Bernardus, and he is the biggest guy of the monastery.
Okay.
And he's from the south of Netherlands. So we are from the south of Netherlands, so we understand each other very good when we speak to dialect to him.
I love it.
1 gallon is 1 gallon is 3. Yeah, that's okay. Thanks, Eric, to just ask Siri. Ray didn't came up to that one. Thanks, Ray. It's much easier when we do a new one. The Belgian version of stout is called quad. Paul, we going back on that one after when we're going to taste the quad.
Maybe we can organize a stout tasting in the future, and then we
Hey, we'll bring you back
give you some
anytime.
advice about some
We'll figure out
stouts.
a way to get some American beers, and we'll change the game on it here. It'll be fun.
Tom finds the double is fantastic, so tell it to everyone, Tom. So
Just do a little bit of marketing for us, Tom. Thanks. The double is great. Thanks, Greg. Jim, I'll be contrarian
contrarian on the yeast.
Yeah.
Yes, it has impact on if you
If you don't,
add the yeast from the bottom in the glass. It definitely does something with the taste of the beer.
I'm not sure if you all knew the beer Duvel. I know we're going to talk about competition, but Duvel is one of the most strong blonde ales. It's one of the biggest in Belgium. And if you pour a Duvel without the residue in the bottle, it's more refreshing. It's not that powerful. But if the little bit of residue in the bottle you put it in, it gives you a more taste. It's going to be full body beer. But some people really don't like that extra in it. So you can always, if you don't like it, just leave it in the bottle. But for the wet beer we just drank, you really need the extra in it because it's going to get you a cloudy beer. It's going to be a hazy beer. So it's more also for the eye.
Other question, do you use sugars in a double? Seems very digestible. The only sugar we use in the double is for the second fermentation. So we said before, we add a little bit sugar and yeast at the filling of the bottle, and then it goes in the warm rooms for the second fermentation.
And it's going to take around 2 to 3 weeks. I'm not sure Ed, if I show you if I send you the picture of the bottles with the clocks on it.
You did. I can.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm throwing you for this bus, but
That's fine. No, it was one of those photos that I did want to actually talk about because you had also gone in to mention something about you had 2 yeasts. Yeah. And the 2 yeasts I wanted to touch base on a little bit more with that because we have quite a few yeast companies here in the US, and there's probably 20 different Trappist strains or Belgian strains as they refer to them. And it's one of those where what would be most authentic or similar based on that. Like that was really where we were, or at least I was curious about.
Yeah, this is a picture taken in the warm room, and here we can see the carbonation of the beers. So this is where the second fermentation is going. It's happening, and they are taking all those notes. And after, I'm not quite sure when they are ready to go, but normally it takes around 2.5 weeks in a warm room and then we go again on degrees. I'm not sure. It's around 22 degrees.
Okay.
Then the second fermentation is going very slowly. So we are using for the first brewing process, we are using quite aggressive yeast to make up the alcohol and the carbonation. And for the second fermentation, we are taking very slowly working yeast. So in the bottle, it's going straight, it's going on and on and on and on and on. But when the perfect taste is, it's when the carbonation and the sugar is completely, it's on its best, then we are going out to our customers. But this beer, the double, you can leave in your basement. And it has to be dark, it has to be a real constant temperature, and then the second fermentation will go on for around 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
After that, the sugar is out of the beers. The yeast is going to die. It's normal when yeast don't have anything to eat. It's ending his fermentation process. And then you can just still leave it over there. And we have the expiration date on the bottle. It's around 2023 on this one, or 2020. I'm not sure what your batch is. But if you leave it till 5 years in a dark environment with normal temperature, you're going to get the portification of the beer. I'm not sure if you know what portification means.
No, I'm afraid I don't.
So the beer is going to evaluate to a kind of port, Porto smaak, like the ports you have in Portugal, those wineries, or Madeira.
Okay.
So it's going to get a rich, more full sweetness flavor in it. So this beer, especially the dark beers, and especially the quad we're going to drink, it's very good to save it, just to leave it in and to preserve it. And so it's going to evaluate more and more and more and more.
To age it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, age it. And you are going to
realize
drink.
the double could age as long as that. That's crazy to think about.
There's a question about Lovey Bond of the caramel malts. I don't know what Lovey Bond is.
Well, the bond is the color scale.
Oh, the
So
color
the-
scale. It's
The darkness of the malt.
82 EBC, but we are using the European beer of color, so it's 82. So it's quite dark. If you go into a stout, what we go and the European beers, it's around 90, 92. So it's real dark. Hi. So we're back again. I got a nice question from Gerald Hodge. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. Do the Abbey share yeast with each other or buy them on the open market? Well, we don't share the yeast. It's you can almost see it like the big thing of what Coca-Cola is not telling what's especially in their liquid. So the yeast is one of the biggest secrets of our brewery. So we are also saving it in a valve. So it's the biggest secret we are having, and I think the most of the breweries, the yeast is especially for them. So it's not an open. It's not especially the yeast we are using for the first part of the brewing process. The second yeast you can take it out if you want to, but the first brewing process, the yeast is it's a big secret. So sorry, Gerald, I not can help you with our yeast. Hello. Hi. Westmaal supplies West Vleteren and Achels. Tom, Westmaal supplies Westvleteren and Argos. Supply them with what? With monks or with beer? That's the biggest question. They don't supply them with beer because it has to be brewed within the walls of the abbey under supervision of the monks. And Westvleteren it's called one of the best beers of the whole world. It's on rate beer. It's rated very high, and they don't have. You can only buy their beer through. You have to call them. You have to give them your number, your license plate from your car, and you have to give them your phone number. And they give you a time slot where you can pick up the beer. So you go into the like a Mac drive. It's almost like a Mac drive. You get 2 cases of beer, pay them, and off you go again. So you don't see the monastery, a little bit from there.
No monastery tours, no nothing.
They only sell directly to customers, and they don't provide any supermarket chains or HoReCa outlets.
So it's one of the best breweries because they don't have logistic problems. They don't have people who don't pay their bills. So it has to be paid straight away yourself. And they don't have any marketing department because the beer sells itself already.
And lots of cash in the brewery, I think.
That's good stuff.
Do you use the same yeast strain for primary fermentation as you do for secondary?
No. Jim, we got a question from Jim. Do you use the same yeast strain from primary fermentation as you do for the secondary? No. For the primary, we use a different yeast strain because it's more aggressive. We call it hard-working yeast. It's going quick to make the lagering and then the fermentation a little bit quicker than the second fermentation. Yeah. I'm just scrolling through the. To some questions. Where did La Trappe get their yeast when they first start brewing? Well, we start brewing in 1884. So I'm not sure. I wasn't there. But it's a good question. Now I'm getting also. I also want to know. So I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask them internally, and
Monday we'll know.
Monday we'll know, and I will. We will send it over to Ed, and maybe can Ed can give the answer to Jim.
Gladly distribute as needed. Yes.
Thank you.
Then James has a question about the date on the label. Is this like the other Trappist breweries where you subtract 5 years to get a born-on date? Now, if you see the bottle on the back side, there is a
expiration date.
Date.
We have to put it on. It's European. You have to put on due to date.
And beneath that, you see the last 3 sentences is at our bottle is L20, and there is I don't know what is on your bottle, Ed.
Mine says C20.
C20. Yeah. C is the month. If you it's January is A, February is B, C is March, exactly. And then it's filled on March 20.
So
okay. So that was 20 when it went into
in the bottle. Yeah.
Then it went into the hot room, and I guess maybe we should let me share that screen. How about that? And we can kind of walk through that process real quick for people.
All right.
Let me find that here. And we're going to share that screen now. And then I'm going to start scrolling.
Hi. Yeah, well, this makes you happy, Ed. This.
Yes, I am a in my real life, I am a food safety quality assurance guy, and I love flow diagrams. That's just my bag. So this made me very, very happy to see. So let me just make sure I can get you what you need here. So feel free to talk us through it, guys.
Yeah, well, it's so we are the supply malt. We already talked. It's Dutch malt. It goes into the silo, a malt silo. Then we weight every batch how many malts we need for every beer needs another weight of malts in the process. Then we're gonna crush the malt a little bit to make it open because we need to get the malts open. We have our spring water of our own spring, 150 meters. In the bottom of the ground, and then we're going up to the mash tun, and we start to put in the molds to work it out and to make sure that the sugar is getting free of into the water. So in the first ton in the first barrel we are making colored sugar water. That's the only thing we are. Sounds a little bit
101 right there, man.
It's colored sugar water. It's the right word.
So afterwards, we go into the sparring barrel. So we're gonna separate the rest of the malts we are using, and then you have the spent grain. You can see on the and that we are still using to bake bread in our brewery, and it goes into a bull farm.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're using the spent grain post mash to make the bread in the brewery as well, or bread in the kitchen.
And the monks make them bread by themselves, and the bread is also used in our restaurant, in our tap room.
And it's not all of the spent grain we use. The rest is going to a bull farm we are working together with. So the bulls and the cows can eat those. It's good for them. And afterwards we go into the lautering vessel and we put in the hops, and all the above process is around 10 hours of brewing process. When we go also into the whirlpool, we do around 3 brewing processes a day. So we're starting at 6 o'clock in the morning and ending at 10 in the evening. So we are not a 24/7 brewery, and we don't brew it during weekends because we're still very Catholic. They are. Sorry to say, the monks are. I'm not. But on Saturday and on Sunday, it's weekend. So we don't brew in the weekend, and we don't bottle in the weekend. So they're only working 5 days a week. We're not, because we are now working and drinking, so it's good working. Then you can see the next. I cannot see it on
we can't see the whole picture.
You go into the whirlpool.
Yep.
The whirlpool makes sure that the egg white in the beer is getting out of it. So you're gonna clarify your beer a little bit more, so you don't get those flakes in your beer. Afterwards, this is the biggest, the cooling and to clear wort. That's the biggest thing. Then you have a top fermented brewery and you have a bottom fermented brewery. It's all starting in the cooling. So we are cooling around 20 degrees. 12 to 20 degrees. And then you get top fermented beer. And if you're cooling down to 5 degrees, then you get bottom fermented beers. So like lagers, pilsners, and all those things.
Okay.
And here you get the yeast and lager tanks. It stays there for around 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. And then you get the separation tanks. So we're going to take all the residue out of it. And the clarification ale tanks. So we are clearing the beer.
There's a question about the centrifuge. We use a centrifuge to separate to clear the beer.
Okay.
And then we are going in. You can see here on the bottom, you can see the bottle line. We're also filling on kegs. For export market, a lot on key kegs. I think a lot of you guys know what a key keg is. It's a disposable one-way. Yeah, it's a one-way keg. You can see here in the. Just go.
I'm getting there. Sorry. Yep, there we go.
Oh yeah, yeah. So in the kegs we don't use second fermentation. It's not possible to put second fermentation in the kegs. Yeah, it is possible, but it's technically not possible for pouring the beer out of your drafts.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. Not quite the same. So is there a, like in the US, a lot of people will say that most brewers are trying to serve that beer out of a keg, like it's designed to be served on draft. Would you say the same is true for La Trappe, or would you say they're more for bottle conditioned beers?
Well, yeah, for volume, I'm always saying for volume, a keg is very great because lots of people go into a tap room, into a pub or to a restaurant and ask, what do you have in draft? I think 80-90% of the people just asking, oh, I'm drying off thirst. So we're going to do our best. Sorry. Well, we can go to the next beer and talk about the rest of the processes. For me, it's okay. I'm not sure if everybody is thirsty.
I'm ready for the quad. I don't know how everyone else is.
Well, I'm gonna neck this one. Cheers.
Me also. Do you use Belgian candy sugar or table sugar? What kind of sugar we use for the second fermentation?
We use those liquid sugar. Yeah, glucose. So we don't use any direct Belgian or candy sugar. It's liquid sugar.
100% natural liquid sugar.
Syrup.
In syrup form.
No.
Hoe is ook kettle?
400 hectoliter.
Our boiling kettle is 420 hecto, I believe.
I'm not sure what it is in gallons now.
420?
420 hectoliters.
I'm halfway. Sorry, Paul. We are doing our best.
So is Paul, apparently.
Yeah, well, you guys are at I think now at the 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and for us it's almost sleepy time.
No.
Here in the U.S., we have a saying: it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and depends on how we do it here. So,
good thing.
But we have a problem in Holland. All like you, all the Horeca outlets are closed for 3 months already. So it's not nice over here. So we're going to the La Trappe quadruple. We call it our queen beer. It's a 10% ABV beer with lots of different flavors. When you smell the beer, you smell so many different things, and everybody. And if it's getting warmer, you're smelling other things. So it's a journey, this beer.
And the who invented the quadruple, the name quadruple? That's one of our true things. It's La Trappe invented the name quadruple. They started to brew the beer called quadruple. Then a lot of other brewers start taking this segment of beers into their own. But we are the founders, the father founders of quadruple beer. Amen to that, I'd say.
Yes, indeed.
And Roy already told it's the queen of beers. And why we call it the queen of beers? Because beer is normally feminine. Eh? It's always female. A she. Beer is she, because we are using virgin hops, feminine virgin hops. If you are using manly hops, wait.
No, you can hear us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you're using manly hops, you don't get any foam on your head, on your beer head, because it's manly hops is a little bit of grease in it, So yeah, and we all know if we ate, for example, I saw somebody sent a couple of minutes ago. This goes well with a Royale with cheese. It's very greasy, and if you drink the beer, and straight away the foam will go away. The head will disappear on your beer. So that's why beer is feminine. It's not because you are driving slowly or badly, but it's all about the hops.
I like it.
And what I like,
People don't like that, but I like it. I think it's
Yeah,
nice.
sorry.
what I like from this beer is you really taste the alcohol in it. You taste a lot of other things, but you really taste the alcohol. It's a dangerous beer.
Yeah, there is a much stronger alcohol component to this. And again, my palate isn't as great as some of the others out there here on the call, but there is a very strong alcohol component in addition to those same dark fruit characters,
Yeah.
as well as that sweetness that we got from the yeast previously. So there's a lot of that really nice flavor there.
This is a beer what you can drink in winter months with a cigar and with a blue cheese or chocolate or.
Really goes good with chocolate together with pure chocolate. The malts we are using on this one is Munich Pale and roasted malts. Just for the record of it.
You see, it is not that dark as the double. It's an amber color.
So the color of the double was around 82. I thought it was 82, and this is 36. Yeah.
Okay.
And on the bottle there is an expiration date of around 3 years again. But this beer, especially this beer, if you take it, if you leave it longer into the basement or into a dark room, it's going to be even more rich flavors of very good, very good prepared.
Yes, it does go well. I'm not going to lie.
So the double is actually darker than the quad. Alex asks, yes,
Yeah,
indeed. It's where does the triple differ from these two?
it's the I'm not sure if you're familiar with the name double, triple, and quad, where the names came from.
That's, blonde is the single, double, triple, quadruple.
So we are in the way back. They started with rafter beer. And rafter beer was the beer for the monks on table. For a lot of people on table, also was an ABV of 0.5, just to make sure that the water is cooked. They put a little bit of sugar in it, a little bit of malt in it, so it gets a little bit more taste of the water. So they call it table beer, rafter beer. After that, when, for example, one of the priests came into the houses of the people, they want to serve them a little bit better beer. So they give them an ankle beer, and then you get the blonde. So the single beer, the ankle. Yeah, not the ankle for your foot, but the single beer. And after that, they putting twice as much of the malt into the beer. So that means twice as much malt. You get more sugar in your beer. More sugar in your beer means also more alcohol in your beer when you put yeast in it. So twice it's double. So double it's not 100%, but it's double the amount of beer. So you can see what a triple does. It's triple the amount of malt in the beer.
All based on the ankle. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Quad is 4 times.
And the inventor of the name triple, it's not the beer style triple, because the beer style triple was already there with 3 times the malt, but it's Wes Mal. It's one of our colleagues of the Belgian Trappist. They gave the beer triple the name triple. So all the beers called triple beers are from the name of Wes Mal. So what we did with our quad, all the rest of the breweries using quadruple or quad beers is from La Trappe. It's from the name of La Trappe, quadruple. So that's how you get the ABV. You put 3 times as more malts in it, so they release 3 times as much sugar. put in the yeast, and you get the ABVs going higher.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
this one is it's quite a dangerous beer because it's slight sweet.
Mhm.
Um,
And it's dry. Like it's not very heavy. It's still like when it finishes,
accessible.
you want to
Yes.
have it encourages another sip.
Yeah,
If you
very
see,
nice.
if you see
Very
the
nice.
alcohol, it's an easy drinking beer, and lots of Horeca owners say when a customer drinks 3 or 4 of these beers, hey guy, go outside, make a round around the church, come back, and if you are coming back, you may have your 4th or 5th glass. Well,
I'm very curious. Maybe you can help me, Ed. Jeff is asking, the quad is pretty baller with chocolate covered raisins. Please help me. What he means with baller, because I hope my English is quite good.
It's very good. It's very
Ah,
very well done, very well put
Thank
together.
you, Jeff.
It's
Thank you.
Yeah, shot caller, good stuff.
More traditionally, they were ordered by their gravity. Yes.
Yes, in the sense, because that's kind of what you were describing. So the amount of sugar
yeah,
in the double and the triple and the quad is all based on the ankle. So that's so it's the higher the sugar content. Yes, that's what we're talking about there.
the higher is the alcohol, but it doesn't do anything with the color of the beer. The color of the beer is the darkness of the malt.
There is even a triple that has the same color as our quadruple. The coloring of the malt is not. I'm not sure if you know the beer Power Quack. It's quite a familiar beer, Quack, Belgian beer style. It's also I see Dick likes this the Quack, but it's the same. No, not the same color. It's slightly lighter, but it's not a typical triple golden beer style. But it's a triple of the ABV and of the brewing style. But yeah. So the coloring of the beer doesn't really mean that it's a blonde or a double, or it's more of but the traditional doubles are all dark. The traditional doubles, yeah. I saw a question of Rochefort just used the numbers. That's correct. Yeah, it's very and they have one new beer, Rochefort. It was the triple. So
Yes.
Rochefort doesn't use only the numbers at this moment. And it was a question from Tom I saw passing by. Rochefort just launched last year in 2020 a triple. So they are not using only numbers anymore. Not good, Rochefort. Just keep to your recipe. Never change a winning team, I'm always saying. Just make it the Rochefort 7, for example, instead of the 6.
I've never seen a light beer from Rochefort. So yeah, I'll have to look for it now at some point. We'll see.
Yeah, we tried it in a tasting with colleagues, and it was I was not disappointed of the beer. It was very good.
Okay,
beer.
all right, because that's good to know too. Because you could have, and pardon my, I say pardon my French, but you could have crapped on it, and we wouldn't have known the difference. I'm just
no. I'm never gonna tell bad things about other brewers, because it's their way of brewing the beer. Yeah. It's not, sometimes not my taste. For example, the Trappe, one of the Italian Trappist brewers, they are brewing beer with eucalyptus. You know eucalyptus? It's the minty.
The minty leaf.
Eucalyptus. I don't like eucalyptus in my beer. And but some people really love it. So it's untapped. It's quite highly rated. It's quite highly rated. So, but it's not my taste, not my kind of beer. But I'm not going to say it's a bad beer, because when it's not my type of beer, I'm not going to tell them it's a bad beer.
I think other people are going to tell you that it is a bad beer, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Eucalyptus, Dick is saying eucalyptus is cat pee. Thanks, Dick. I'm not going to say, because I'm working for a brewery, and I'm not going to tell other people.
I've never drank any cat pee, so I can't tell you. But that's okay. You know, their own.
Yeah,
Not
but it's
my
Heineken. Heineken we call horse pee.
Horse, yeah.
Ah, gotcha.
Steve asked which food pairings are good for quadruple. Spare ribs is okay. So typical Belgian food like stoofpotjes, we call
Stews.
it stews, raisin bread, and afterwards by the chocolate mousse or tiramisu.
Well, what's also good with this beer is if you are, for example, taking the chocolate mousse, just take a little bit of quadruple and put it into a small pan. Just boil it down, residue, make it a little bit, just keep it boiling, and put a little bit of sugar in. Then you get syrup. You get quadruple syrup of it. Just pour it over your chocolate mousse. Really, it's like heaven.
Well, we'll have to see how that goes now.
We have sent you.
Man, you can't go wrong there. That's how I see it.
No, you have to be careful with the boiling, but
we have sent you the food pairing schedule.
You did, and I was able to distribute that to everyone here.
Okay.
So I know some of us I'm seeing a lot of the comments come up about how it pairs well, and those were spot on, man. These were great. These were great.
Ricola. Yeah, John, you're correct. I think Treffeltaan biggest export market is Australia. We call Heineken the same here. Thank you, John, again.
Yeah, the Trappist brewery in France is Mont de Cat. The Cats. It's what we talked about before. Mont de Cat is brewed at Chimay.
Chimay Westmall.
Chimay. It's a Trappist beer, but they don't have the logo while it's not brewed by their own monks. And it's brewed by other monks at Chimay, and they fill the beer, and then it goes back to France to Mont de Cat. It's a nice beer, but okay, it's a Trappist beer.
It doesn't fall into this category. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Alex is asking, which of the La Trappe beers is your favorite?
Your personal favorite, yeah.
My personal favorite, it depends on the season where we're living in. So it's now winter over here. So then I'm then I really like to drink darker beers, a quadruple, a stout or porter. And in the summer, I like to drink La Trappe Wit or a blonde. It depends on the season. And
yeah, my all-time favorite is it's not on this tasting, but it's Isidore. It's amber color beer, 7.5 EBV, and it's, for my opinion, it's through the whole year. You can drink it whenever you want to. It has a rich taste, a lot of herby taste, but there's also a little bit of sweetness in it. So it's for my opinion, that's one of the best beers, and I think it's also our youngest beer, not?
It's the youngest beer, and it's also the favorite of our monks. And it's called after the first brewer of La Trappe, brother Isidorus Laper.
Yeah, and I see here a question from it's a hard name to pronounce for me. Sorry, Curton. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it good. But it's also really good with a 6-9-month-old Gouda. Correctly. This beer can handle
old cheese
with quite a heavy cheese. Yeah.
And anything light?
And anything light? Coarse light. It's Aston. What do you mean by anything light? Coarse light, but light. It's. I'm hoping you are not talking about beers here. All of the beers have outstanding on their own merit. The quad has a wonderful balance of malt and hops. Thanks for that, Rick and Michelle. I'm not sure if Michelle is sitting next to Rick, but thanks. If there are questions, just don't hesitate.
Yeah, no,
To
there's,
ask you, I'll scroll down. There's a lot of messages. Is the bock beer available in the US, Roy?
No, but we're talking about that David has left the building. But David is responsible for the US market, David Race from Sprinkles Family Brewers. But we're talking about the bock to see what we can do in winter this year. So October, November 2021.
so I also know that, and that's we'll look forward to it for sure. I also recall when we were setting this up, there was discussion about getting the ankle out here. But
Yeah.
I guess that's not available in the US either, is correct? Like the ankle's
No, we
only, right?
We have only 3 beers available now in the US. It's not, they are not cheap in the US, so they focus on 3 beers: it's blonde, triple, and quadruple. And in the past we had La Trappe Wit, but we have to see what we can do and when we can extend our assortment in the US. So we talk about with David about that.
There are lots of opportunities in a big country like the US. So, but first, focus on a couple of good beers we have on the blonde, the triple, and the quad, and we expand we go inside and then make it bigger, like the Trojan horse. Just go inside and just make it bigger.
Are we ready for the oak aged for those of us that were
Yes,
able to?
for sure. Well, it's nice to compare it with the normal quadruple.
Zullen we even de naam zetten?
Ja,
Nee.
ja.
Nog baas? Of zal ik die andere?
Now that the 4 beers quadruple oak aged, and what we do with quadruple oak aged is we have several batches per year, 3 to 5 batches per year. We buy some wooden barrels from whiskey makers, from wine makeries, from sherry barrels. So every batch is a unique batch. It's a small batch. We make only 4,500 bottles of that worldwide.
Only from a homebrew scale, that's massive. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay, but for us, 4,500 bottles is not that much.
No, it's not at all by any stretch.
So I'm also responsible for Germany, and for example, Germany only gets 360 bottles. It stays. We fill those barrels with quadruple, and those barrels are going in a conditioned room for at least 1 year.
Wow.
At least 1 year. You have batch 22. It's we are now currently at batch 39. Batch 22 is sold out long ago in Holland. So we have also a quadruple, but we have the last batch 39.
So it's your batch, and I think it was on your card, but it's blended in October 2015, so it's already more than 5 years old, and it's blended on 83. You can see it on that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We tried to make sure everybody got their tags, but some of them unfortunately came off when they shipped over. So
we are using, you can see we are also using new toasted barrels. We are using the new toasted barrels, especially for the vanilla taste. We want to get them on from new oak. You get a slight of vanilla, but your batch is already 5 years old. So yeah, I think you have a liquid gold in your hands now, guys.
But if you compare it with a normal quadruple, it's impossible. It's impossible.
yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. It's so different from the quad. Like there is a whole nother layer to this.
If you know, we buy those barrels, and the residue from the barrels, what's in the wood, it's 6 to 7 liters again, which will mix with the quadruple. So if there was whiskey in the barrels, what was it? 22?
22. There was single malt whiskey.
It's a whiskey barrel. So the whiskey mixes his with the quadruple.
Yeah. And there's a really lovely like a smoke and a vanilla character to at least ours.
That's from the new barrel. It's especially from the new barrels you get the vanilla of it.
Not a whole lot of head though. Not a whole lot of foam retention.
After 5 years, it's not possible to get any head anymore on your.
I'm not judging by any stretch.
No.
I'm more happy with the flavor than anything.
This is even in our new batch we have. The head disappears straight away because the beer is laying for a year in wooden barrels. So it's for the carbonation of the beer. So for the CO2, it's not that 100% good, but for the taste, it's perfect. And we did 2 years ago. I'm not sure. 2 years ago, well, 3 years ago, we put it on barrels for keg. We put our quadruple on kegs.
Yeah, once we put it on kegs.
Once we put it on kegs, just for horeca in the Netherlands, and one keg costs around 200 euros. It costs 200 euros. It's not around. It costs exactly 200 euros. And I was then a sales representative in the Netherlands, and I went to bars, and it just was a shame to ask people. Well, we have quadruple on batch. I think it was 100% Scotch.
Yeah, Scotch. It is a smoky whiskey.
Peated barrels laid. And I asked me, do you want to pay 200 euros for 20 liters? And say, how many can I take? I said, sorry. How many kegs can I take? He said, yeah, only one. No, I want to have 5. I said, but you are going to pay 1,000 euros for 1 hectoliter. I'm not sure how, again, on gallons. But it's ridiculous how popular this beer is available on export through our distributors. And in the Netherlands, you can only buy it in our shop, in our monastery shop. So it's, again, guys, a 5-year-old quad. I'm jealous. I'm now drinking the new one, but cheers.
In general, cheers. No, and yeah, wow. I'm speechless, truly speechless at this beer. It's something else. It truly is.
Yeah, that we become the American silence.
Jerry, just come back on Jerry. He asked, Isidore is rating 92 on Rate Beer. So it's we're very good. We have to send over Isidore to the US.
My favorite American beer.
Huh? So at the very least to our brew club. After that, I'll let you guys decide. But yeah, the Chicago market for sure would love it.
I will visit you. I have a favorite beer in America. I like the KBS from Founders. It's one of my favorites.
Is that right? Is that right?
Founders make good beers, but
they do.
There are also good available in the Netherlands.
Yeah,
so
that's why we can drink them.
Darn, no oak age here. Noah says there is no oak age here. Okay.
Not everyone could get the oak age today. We had offered that as a premium, and then after the fact, there were some beer hunters that went out and bought additional bottles of it to distribute. I had gotten a couple of messages about it at one point, and I think I made this pretty clear to everyone. Like, we were charging for the premium packs, we were charging $30 for this tasting, and the bottles for the oak age quad were $23 a bottle at retail. And so there was a lot of scrambling for people to try and find even in a of the oak age. So this was truly amazing that you guys were able to throw this together for us and send us these beers to try. And we were very, very appreciative of everything you guys did, as well as your time today, you know, going into your evening here and entertaining questions. I don't know of a better way to end it, and I don't necessarily want it to end either here. So if there's anybody else that has other questions, I encourage you to put them in the chat window here, and we'll all continue to enjoy the rest of our beers and
we have
chat.
time.
We will take over the chat. For example, Ray Nunny asked, I have batch 24. Very good batch, Ray. It's used on Kirsch Schnapps. So it's Austrian.
An Austrian barrel from Kirsch Schnapps. It's how do you call it? An Oopslag. You know Schnapps? It's
kind of
Geneva. Geneva or Geneva Schnapps.
Ray got batch 24. Yeah, that's the Kirsch Schnapps again. Quite sherry-like. Sherry-like batch 22. Yeah. It's possible because of the taste evolves constantly. Sherry-like flavor. I hope you like the cherry-like flavor, because or else we have so much darker. Yeah, but it's still the basic of the oak age is the quadruple. I'm sad I missed out that bottle.
It's like a gin.
Next time. Batch 23 is German whiskey.
Yeah, it's like it's like a gin, a German gin.
No, 22 is German whiskey.
German, no.
Oh, we're not sure.
Welke is it?
Yeah, it's whiskey vaten, but I'm not sure. It's possible. Aroma is wonderful. Thank you. Someday I try your oak beer. I have safety myself with Grimbergen Blond. At the meantime, cheers, gentlemen. Gerald. Cheers.
Cheers. It's
even with Grimbergen.
Even with Grimbergen.
Even with Grimbergen, I say cheers.
It's only an Abbey beer. We drink a Trappist beer.
This is excellent. How long in the barrels, Bill? At least 1 year in the barrels. So we are leaving this beer at least 1 year. Then we're going to take samples, and our brewmasters. I'm calling it always when I do an online tasting. Our barrel age program is like a toy to our brewmasters, because they are brewing all the year the same beers, and every day they have the same beers, our 8 beers. And the aging program, so the barrel program, is their
playing room.
They can tweak and do whatever they want to make the beer as good as they want to. So the recipe of the rest of the beers are already settled, but the barrel age program is their toy to make sure, to let them show what they can, and they can do a lot with the beers. Are you paid for doing this, or you paid La Trappe to do this? Thanks, Dick. This is our spare time.
It's a secret.
So this one's for free, and but on Monday my clock is running again. So no, this is well, I told Roy, and I made from my hobby my work. Yeah, I'm very happy to work, and
yeah, I'm pleased to do this work. So it's very nice to do this work, and then this kind of things, I like it. I like to do this even in the weekend,
to make people acquainted with our beers.
Yeah,
I think we hope to do it as good as possible.
It's the best way to promote our beers.
I'm saving the barrel quad for dinner tonight. Yeah, it's already tonight here, with pork dumplings. Yeah. try with the dumplings some soya sauce. Not too much, but I think soya sauce and quad will work together quite good because both of them there are very intense of taste. So enjoy your meal. Was it Jim? Enjoy your meal tonight. Yeah, we are all. It's almost 10 o'clock here, so in the evening. Delicious. Next tasting. Yeah, well, it's up to Ed when the next tasting is.
We can do a Rodebach tasting.
No, they already had Rudy.
Oh, yeah, you already had Rudy in the tasting.
Well, okay. So I didn't want to let that one out of the bag just yet. But yeah, so Rudy, that was a commercial thing. But I knew that Rodenbach down the line might be a thing for Boss and the crew here. So we might definitely hit you up for a Rodenbach tasting down the line with Rudy.
If you can help, if you can join, if we can help.
Just let us know.
It would be a huge. People would love it. People would love it.
One of the gods of brewing is Rudy.
He is really the master of knowledge. It's really.
And you're not going to make it in 2 hours.
No.
Yeah.
He keeps on talking.
We'll donate that. We'll give up that time. I think this group here would be more than happy to give up that time, and we'll definitely keep that in mind in the future for sure.
Thanks.
So
And organizing that to the Netherlands is great info. Thanks. Well, guys, yeah, I'm thinking we are almost in the ending of the.
Wait. Are you saying this? Some batches use whiskey barrels, some sherry barrels. We use
All kind of barrels.
all kind of barrels. We use wine barrels also. Red wine, sweet wine, dry wine. What we can get. The problem is that every brewer now is experimenting with barrel-aged beers. So we started for 10 years, I believe, with oak aged beers. At that time, the price of a barrel was only 30, 40 euros. And now we pay 150 till 200 euros per barrel. And that makes that's a problem. The problem is to get the barrels, and then they are very pricey, so very expensive.
But we are and the lucky we are very lucky that good name. So there are a couple of wineries and also whiskey who really wants to share the barrels with us, that they can say we sent the barrels over to La Trappe. So it's still very expensive, but we are in the lucky state that we have a good name. Do you have any barrels beside no? Yeah, we did once with the Isidore.
Once we did with the Isidore, but normally only the quad we age in barrels.
Yeah,
it's also the best beer for aging beer.
Yeah, thanks, Mark, for the question.
Come to Chicago, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Jim just sent over an invitation.
If it's allowed to fly again to the States,
it will be on. I'm going to tell you guys right now, we will throw a party in your honor. It will be.
Well, it's Roy's country, so I have to go to Russia then.
Okay.
That's my country. Or to Riga. Okay, count UKG in for that. Okay. Evil Horse Brewing will help you. Where can I find you on Instagram, Ed?
Yeah, I am not on Instagram.
No, but it's the beer brewing boss on Brewmaster Boss on Instagram
or Facebook.
So Boss in general, we're on bossbeer.org is our website.
Okay.
And there's some contact information for our board of directors there. You'll see my name and email on there as the educations are. And then as for the Evil Horse Brewing in particular, was able to help us with the import and the buying of the beer for today.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. I see
Untitled
that.
Brewing, definitely, they're in Crete. They have a ton of information out there. Just look up Evil Horse Brewing and Steve Camp, and I'm sure he'd
Okay,
be happy
perfect.
to help for sure.
Cheers. Cheers. Thanks. It's been great. Thanks for putting it together. Well, I think we are. Is La Trappe the cure for COVID-19? Well,
You can try it, but it helps definitely.
Adam,
That's for sure.
Adam, it makes your day a little bit easier sitting at home drinking La Trappe. I'm not saying it's a cure, but it's making the day easier.
It's like a test. If you can smell the beer and if you can taste the beer, you definitely have no COVID.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to take this test again here once we get off the call, just to make sure everything's okay from a health perspective. So thank you again, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks to you. Thanks for having us.
We stay in touch. Stay in
Indeed.
touch. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day. Have a nice weekend.
And is it possible to send over? Yeah, well, we have a touch later on. Cheers.
Indeed. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll leave. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye. Take care.